Hey guys, Poplar Mechanic here. We're in the shop today and we're going to be taking a look at this 15-liter ultrasonic cleaner. I picked this one up on Amazon. I will leave a link in the description below so you can pick yourself up one as well. And I get nothing from it. I just wanted you guys to know where I got it. They have become cheaper over time and I've always really wanted one. They're just awesome for cleaning carbs and saw parts and stuff you don't want to spend a lot of time on. You can just chuck it in. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so this is the 15-liter ultrasonic cleaner. To start off, you have two dials in the front. It's fairly easy to use. It just plugs into the back. You turn the switch on. You won't actually see any lights until you turn these dials. This specific knob here is the temperature gauge. So you can see here it goes up to 80 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that's in Celsius, so that's pretty warm. One more thing I wanted to mention too is they even say on Amazon that this takes a while to heat up. One thing I found from using it is if you put like hot water in it, like from the tap, it heats up way quicker, obviously. But it's just a little tip if you want to get going a little bit quicker. Moving over to the next dial, we have the timer. Okay, so this one can be set for a maximum of 30 minutes, so a half an hour. It'll clean for, and then if you need to clean it more, you'll have to come reset the dial. It'll stop. Okay. So like I said, this one's a 15-liter, so it's pretty good size. It's all made out of all stainless steel. Nice lid. Everything looked super shiny when I got it. Okay, so that's the lid there. You're also going to receive an instruction manual with your purchase here. You know, just normal things. Well, it may not hurt to glance through it. It's pretty short. They do tell you some stuff that would be good information, like you should use the basket that it comes with. Don't put parts directly on the bottom because it could damage the unit. So you get the instruction manual. Moving on, you get this hose. Okay, so this hose basically just threads onto the drain. So you can see we've got a drain in the bottom there, this little hole. Okay, so that's where the water will come out, and it just comes to this ball valve right on the side, and then this just threads on so you can easily drain it out. And I've used it a few times and it works awesome. So that basically covers that. You get that, and then you get this basket obviously to set your parts down into. This one will hold quite a bit. I would highly recommend the 15-liter. Everyone I talked to said go bigger, so this is what I decided to do. Nice clean bottom there. That pretty much covers it for stuff you get with it. The other thing is stuff you can clean it with. I'm using this Simple Green just because I've seen it online, and I actually seen a lot of guys using it, and I looked it up, and it's got a great reviews everywhere I see it, so it seems to work quite well. So I decided to go with this. This is the green type. They have some other types like all-purpose and siding and stuff, but this is the stuff you're going to want right here, depending what you're cleaning, but apparently it works pretty good. It may not hurt to have some jars as well, guys, so when you're cleaning your small parts, you can just put your cleaner in here, put your carburetor in there, and then you can just set the glass jar in there without getting the thing dirty. But today we're just going to be setting this cylinder right inside on the rack. We're going to set it right inside, and I'm just going to fill it up because it's so easy to drain. It's really not that hard to clean out. Obviously this won't fit in the jar. So this is from the 385 I've been working on. I have the 390 cylinder for this saw getting work done on it right now, and I'm just waiting to get it back. But I wanted to see how this thing cleans, so I stuck it in there, and you can see I put it in there with some other cleaner we had around the shop, and I wasn't really too impressed with it. It is really dirty. It's an old cylinder, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's OEM. You can see all the grime in there, and then everyone knows about the carbon buildup at the top. You can see in there, and you know, it's just dirty throughout those fins, and in the exhaust is obviously all carboned up. You can see there. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to fill this thing up, add some Simple Green, and then we'll throw this cylinder in for a half an hour and see what happens. Okay guys, so one thing I forgot to mention before we put this thing is it comes with this as well. It's like just a little mesh screen for smaller parts, so I thought that was a nice little touch too. It'd be really good for small bolts, screws, or even jewelry. Okay guys, so I've got I've put the hot water in, like I said. I've got it set to 80. Now, you don't have to set it to 80. I just want to keep the heat rolling because I know it's going to take a lot of heat to clean this cylinder. Another thing to keep in mind, guys, this carbon and stuff like that is one of the hardest things to clean. So, I mean, I'd be really impressed if it got all of it, but I kind of have my doubts that it's going to. But keep in mind, I have cleaned carbs with gasoline inside a jar, and it worked just flawlessly. So that's something to keep in mind as well too. And I haven't used this Simple Green, so I'm just going by what I heard, so hopefully it works. So let's take a look inside. So there we go. I put quite a bit of the Simple Green in. I didn't really measure it. There are instructions on the back if you want to follow those, but I just kind of eyed her up. So there's lots in there. So we'll go ahead. I'll set this cylinder into the rack and then we'll put it in. Okay, so here she is. Lots of carbon on the top. This part got pretty cleaned. It's pretty dirty yet over here. You can see that brown. And then really dirty in there. You can see just above the intake there. So I'm going to start just by laying it on its side here, and we'll just set it into the liquid, which is already fairly hot. So there, now we've submerged the cylinder. Okay guys, one thing I will warn you about, the noise is a little annoying, but it's not as bad as people say. I could easily work around the shop with this thing going, so it may get a little annoying here, but I want to show you guys what it sounds like. So we'll go ahead and put it on for a half hour. Yeah, I guess it is pretty bad. You can sort of see the bubbles around the intake there. It's actually moving the debris quite well. I think it's this Simple Green. Okay guys, we'll come back in a half hour. I'll put the lid on and we'll see what it looks like. Alright guys, so a half hour's up. Let's pop the lid and see if there's any dirt in the water here. Whew. She's hot, that's for sure. Got her on 80 degrees, so it's pretty tough to tell. You can see lots of bubbles and stuff foaming out around the cylinder fins. I'll pull it right out and we'll take a closer look. Okay guys, so I pulled it out. It's still steaming. You can see it looks extremely clean right here. There's still some stuff in between. Might be tough for you guys to see with my GoPro here, but there is some dirt in between. I don't know how well it's gonna wipe off. You can see some grime, but it looks like it's starting to break up pretty easily. You see down in there that thick spot? I bet that'll just wipe away. Let's see what the carbon looks like. Oh my goodness, it's starting to work it. It's starting to work it off of there. That is unbelievable. Let's see the exhaust side. Now it might be tough for you guys to see, but there are parts that are clean. Within the exhaust there, you can kind of see the lip of it there. It's nice and clean. Sort of right at that lip on the inside wall. It's nice and clean. So overall, it's doing a really good job. There's still some dirty areas. I'm going to put it in for another half hour, guys. Let's see what that does. Okay, guys, so all I had time for was 15 minutes. I'm going to have to go home and spend the weekend with my wife here. But you can see it's cleaned up pretty good. There's, you know, the intake is flawlessly clean, but it usually is. It's done a little more. You can see this top surface is just perfectly cleaned. Down inside it was starting to work that carbon off up there by where the spark plug is. It didn't quite get it, but I think with some time it would. And like I said, this is my first test just using that Simple Green. So if you guys know something that's awesome that'll clean this carbon up that you can use in these ultrasonic cleaners, let me know, because I'd really like to know about it. But I'm sure that this would do the job. Like if you for some reason really wanted to restore something, this would be the way to go about it, because I've tried to clean these before in the past. You know, you can spray them with Carb Clean and hit them with air and all that stuff, or Brake Clean, whatever. But you can't really seem to get this carbon off without scraping it. and this thing's actually putting a dent in it, which I think is impressive. And actually right here you can see with the light just down at the top of the exhaust there, right here, you can see it's starting to slowly clean that, so I'm thinking with some time it would get it. So anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.